Hey guys, Parfax here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video on my BIS Mage gear for next patch. Alright, let's get started. So today I'm going to be bringing you the video on the gear that I've been acquiring, I have been crafting for next patch. I have it pretty much completely BIS'd out. We're missing one or two perks, which I will tell you in this video. Hopefully, almost for assuredly, we will have it before the patch drops. But there's a couple reasons why I feel extremely confident that this will be BIS. So let's first go ahead and start talking about the gear. So first and foremost, we know elemental version is going to be good. And before you go, well, you know, you put out a video talking about whether it's going to be the great or not, you know, it's going to be good. But my thing is, elemental version right now for mages and light armor is BIS. In my opinion, it has been BIS for a very long time. You don't need shirking fortification because in the instances where it is useful, you're going to die, right? It's mainly the only difference is melee. Aversions are insane against everybody but melee, and you shouldn't ever get caught by, you know, melee unless you are getting completely surrounded in the instance you were going to die anyway. So we don't want shirking fortification. We want some generic defenses. That's why aversion has been BIS for a long time. So let's go over the weapon. So attunement did just get nerfed on the PTR, but attunement is still going to be really good. Now you might be thinking to yourself, why not keenly empowered over keen? And that is definitely something you can run. That is going to give you more higher burst potential, but if you want more consistent damage, keen is going to give you that. There's been a big change to the way crit works on the game, and you're going to need more critical chance. We did get a buff to our critical chance. Our base weapon is going to have 10%, but it is not going to ever get a guaranteed crit anymore. So we do want that extra keen. Now we're going to have another spot where you can possibly swap out another piece of keen, but having tested it, keen just feels absolutely insanely good. Yes, you're going to have a little bit less burst potential, but you're going to have so much more consistent damage with keen. But if you want to slot a keenly empowered in here, go right ahead. Now there is a case to be made to have a vicious attunement in pillar staff, but when it comes to the pillar staff, it knocks about 2 seconds off your pillar of fire. Your pillar of fire is at 10% anyway, so it's a very mixed bag. If you are doing something like point spam, it could be pretty good, but it also gets really, really bad if you're only hitting one target, and then it's completely not worth it. So we're going to go with a more generic setup here, and we're going to have the pillar of fire on our gear. So let's go over to our gear. And here we have an intelligence helm with critical retribution, physical aversion, resilient. Now this is going to be my only physical aversion piece. I debated whether I want one or two. We decided on one, and we will kind of make up for that in a different section. So here, this is for me completely BIS. We do want critical retribution because, like I said, crit was changed, and this is just generic increased damage. Every time we are crit, we're going to be getting hit by ranged attacks. And then when that ranged attack hits us, we're going to get a nice boost to our crit chance every now and again. And 10% is nothing to slack at. I mean, that is a pretty big percentage chance, especially next patch. So I think you definitely want critical retribution here, especially as the mages. Specifically, VG, IG, and anything running a fire staff is really going to want that right here. Next, we have our medium chest piece at elemental aversion, flame conditioning, and resilient. Now, of course, elemental aversion is better than flame conditioning, and we definitely want 5-piece resilient, which you're going to see in this build. But when it comes to the next stat, there's one of two options. One, refreshing, which is made easier if you get the summer medley fair event. If you go to the trade post, there are some you can get them in next patch. They will be able to roll resilient. So if you don't know the base stats that roll on them, you can roll with any attribute you want, and then it comes with elemental aversion and refreshing. And then all you have to do is wait till next patch, roll it, and has a 24% chance every time you click that button to hit resilient. So pretty easy way to get BIS, but I like flame conditioning a little bit here. Now the reason why we like flame conditioning is one of two things. Well, actually one of a couple things. So first and foremost, we know fire staff's going to be very good next patch, or at least get a nice big bump. So we have that, but it also mitigates some of Bow's damage, and it has blunderbuss, arguably 3 of the best weapons in the game next patch, and flame conditioning is going to really help against it. You want to go something like refreshing and get a little bit more damage, that's fine, but it's 2.8% refreshing, which is what I think it is. It might be 2.9% refreshing at 625, but whatever it is, It's a very small damage percentage increase, especially because our skills have a not so long cooldown. Now we do have like Meteor Shower, which we are going to be running next patch. It does have a little bit longer cooldown, but the cooldowns aren't so significant on all of ours. Like Refreshing Pillar of Fire, refreshing doesn't matter, because at least one piece of refreshing doesn't matter, because our cooldown will be so low anyway that it doesn't really affect anything. So we're only looking at one, possibly two abilities that it affects. So we're going Flame Conditioning here. Next, we have our Pillar of Fire gloves, like I mentioned, Elemental Aversion, Resilient, Refreshing, Pillar of Fire. And then you're going to see this again. We have our legs at Elemental Aversion, Resilient, Empowering Meteor Shower. And then again, Elemental Aversion, Resilient, Fireball. Now we are, with this build, going to go very heavy into physical damage reduction, because probably the biggest counter to Mage is Bow. Now, with Bow, we can mitigate some of the damage if they are doing a split with Elemental Aversion. They do some elemental damage, but we will need some physical defense. Now, I do have my amulet here, which I thought about running, but this is not actually the amulet that I'm going to run. And next patch is going to be very critical that you get a protection amulet. Now, if you're a Mage user, what I actually suggest here is a health, thrust protection, stamina recovery. Now you can, like I said, go refreshing, but having thought about it, refreshing is very, like I said, it doesn't help every one of your abilities. It does help the Ice Gauntlet abilities, which is really good. But when it comes to like Pillar of Fire, which is going to be your biggest damaging spell, it doesn't help it. Now, that is not to say that refreshing is bad. Refreshing is absolutely really good on this build. But when it comes to this build, we really kind of want some extra defenses. And that's why we want to go Thrust Protection, Stamina Recovery, Health is going to be your BIS amulet. Now here we're running the Champion's Ring. You have one of two options here. You can run the Champion's Ring, which gives you Keen, or you can swap that Keen for a fire damage. Like I said, Keen is going to give you more of a overall smoother playstyle, very consistent damage, where if you go fire here and you go keenly empowered here, it's going to give you more burst. Now, I suggest if you go one of the two, so if you have a keenly empowered here, I would definitely go the Champion's Ring, because I feel like you definitely need at least one piece of keen. I may be going a little bit overboard here on the keen, but next patch you are definitely going to need those, keen procs, because we don't get the guaranteed crits anymore. And then here we're running this, but I've been searching. There's one in the marketplace for about 50K. I don't really feel like it's worth it yet. But really here, what you want is Refreshing Toast, Refreshing, and Purifying Toast. If you're just a gamer that plays, OPRs and don't ever do war, then you can go Mana Toast. That gives you some health back whenever you drink a mana potion, give you that little bit extra healing. But if you're going for wars, we definitely want Purifying Toast. And even Purifying Toast is good in OPR as well, because you're always getting debuffed. Now, it only cleanses one, unfortunately, but it still is a very nice change. And then on here, when it comes to your Ice Gauntlet, you have a couple different ways. Crystalline Curse is just such a generically good weapon. We have Unending Thaw, which you really do want on your Ice Gauntlet, that or Deadly Frost. But being the fact that we are playing a more ranged playstyle, I feel like Deadly Frost isn't very needed on this build. But we are, we can run it as well. And then we have Refreshing Move Enchanted. I do have another Ice Gauntlet here, which is Vicious, Unending Thaw, and Keenly Jagged. And this would be definitely a very good Ice Gauntlet to go if you end up going something like Ice Spike. So, or even if you go Pillar, that's actually not bad. Ice Pylon. If you go one of those two abilities, you can definitely run that. It's going to give you a little bit more pop. Now, this is just my standard tree that I've been running, because that's what I run a support mage. But if you want to go that, this is definitely something that's very good. Keenly Jagged is going to be very good next patch on your back bar weapon, as it is right now. Ending Thaw. And then instead of Vicious, you can run something like Refreshing Move, or I probably wouldn't go Keen here, but probably Refreshing Move would be probably my second choice, or Enchanted. So that is the gear that I will be running next patch. We're almost completely there. We have a couple more items to get, just one or two, and then, or really just perks, and we can pretty much get it. I probably should just go ahead and start trying to craft the amulet, because I haven't seen it on the server in a while. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like, comment, subscribe. Like always, we'll be putting up some questionnaires or some polls up on the YouTube channel. See what you guys want me to bring to you guys. Is there anything that you guys know right off the bat that you're like, man, I really want a video about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, like always, and I'll see you next time. Peace.